Hi, I hope you have had a great weekend. Today I'm going to make a card using my favorite combination of materials, that is white and ivory cardstock plus some vellum. I will be featuring some dies from the new summer release by Poppy Stamps, so let's get started. I have pre-cut and pre-folded a top folding card base that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. It's made of ivory cardstock. And now I'm going to apply some Tattered Rose Distress ink only at the bottom of the card front. I'm applying the ink with a mini blending tool, starting with the paper and moving onto the project, and I'm trying to avoid creating any lines and sharp edges. So here I have applied the ink to about 1/3 from the bottom. This is the largest die from STITCHWORK rectangle frames die set, and I have used it to cut out 2 frames out of white cardstock. I will be also using the largest frame from Rectangle Basics set, it's by Memory Box, to cut out a panel. And both pieces measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches, just like my card base. This next die is called Leafy Vine Collage, and it also works with the dies from a Rectangle Basics set. So one die is exactly the size of the Leafy Collage, and another one is the next size, bigger one. Now I'm using the smaller one that is the same size as the collage to cut out the window on the vellum panel. I'm offsetting the window a little bit towards the top left corner. Next, I'm using the larger rectangle die and a collage die to create a leafy frame. So I'm taping them onto a piece of white cardstock, sending them through the machine, and this is the frame that I get. If you are interested in the tools and supplies I'm using, I have them listed on my blog as well as in the description. I'm carefully removing all the negative pieces, and then I'm going to attach this frame to the vellum panel. So I'm applying some liquid glue all around the window, and then I'm sticking the leafy frame on top of it. I am using Tacky glue by Scotch at the moment, but you can use any other liquid adhesive that you prefer. Next, I'm going to attach the large frame onto the panel, so I'm applying some liquid glue at the wrong side and just placing it onto the vellum, aligning the corners and the edges. The next step is white embossing the sentiment. I'm going to use the word always, and I'm stamping it with VersaMark ink, applying some embossing powder, then I'm going to heat set it. The stamp itself is from the set called Love and Miss You. It's by Birch Press Design. It's a small image, so it takes just a few seconds to heat set it. Now I'm going to attach another frame on top of the existing one. This is going to give the frame more dimension, and it will also give it some extra sturdiness. For my focal image, I'm going to use this beautiful die called Graceful Heron. I have die cut it out of white cardstock, and now I'm applying some Tattered Rose Distress ink all around the edges. This is the same ink that I used for the background. You can use this image as it is, but I have decided to give it at least one more layer of cardstock. Layering the die cuts always makes them stand out more. Now I'm going to use the liquid glue again to attach the bird onto the panel. So I'm applying the adhesive, placing it where it belongs on a card front, and then I'm going to blot off the excess glue with a paper napkin. The last finishing touch I'd like to add is this tiny die cut. It's from the die called Splashing Puddles by Memory Box. This is actually a negative piece, and normally it's going to waste, but not this time, because this time it's gonna help me to create that little detail that I was missing. All there is left to do is to attach this panel onto the card base, and I'm going to use some small foam squares. I made sure they are not overlapping the small holes on the frame as I was attaching them, so I'm placing the frame onto the card base and my card is finished. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and found some ideas useful. I wish you all a wonderful week, and I hope to see you again next time.